Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Elizabeth Davis. If you're new here, I make a lot of fashion videos and lifestyle vlogs, so if that's your vibe, then definitely subscribe. Today I'm going to be doing this makeup look here for you. It's kind of like a tutorial, but it's more of like a get ready with me while we talk about boys. So I'm going to be sharing a couple of really crazy, not really crazy, but really funny, I think they're funny, dating stories, including the time that I stood a guy up. Also, I'm going to be sharing some funny Bumble profiles that I came across while doing my makeup today, so definitely stick around if you want to see that. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Instagram at ElizabethDavisXO, and let's get right into it. So I am going to go on Pinterest and pick out a Valentine's Day makeup look. I just prepped my eyes with the Urban Decay primer potion. It's this, I just used like the original one. I'm in quarantine and it is so boring and I really don't feel all that great today, so I figured since I can't really do anything, I wanted to film a video. What would you guys think if I did this look sometime? That is so intense, but I kind of like it. I don't know if I'd ever wear that out in public though. I'm gonna go for this girl's look. I really like it. I think it'd be really easy to do. It's not over the top. It's not like I have all the right colors for it. So I'm going to start with two palettes. I'm using the Morphe 9S palette and the Urban Decay Cherry palette. I really like to use this palette for like Valentine's Day looks. This one is nice for like fancier, more unique looks because the colors in here aren't your average makeup shades. So I'm going to start with this brown shade in here, and to do that I'm going to take my Real Techniques fluffy brush, and I don't know, I feel like not having to, since I can't go to work, like I haven't had to go out in the cold, so therefore I feel like my skin is a lot clearer because it's not as dry. I thought it would be fun to tell some past crush stories. One of them was this guy who I'm hoping that since this is a makeup video, like guys won't watch it, especially the ones that I'm going to be talking about. This one guy I used to like, and I knew him through some, I don't even want to say how I knew him because it's going to like be a dead giveaway of who it is if this person watches it, but let's just say I knew him through some other friends of mine, and because like they weren't really friends with him, but we knew each other through them. And I'm pretty sure that they were like talking one time and I walked up to them and my friends introduced me to this guy. Well, nothing really came of it right away. I liked someone else. I didn't really think he was that cute. He wasn't like ugly or anything. He just wasn't like really my type, I should say. But he was like nice and he always complimented me and was just like very just very friendly towards me. And I was like, I feel like he kind of like is like slightly interested. It didn't work out with the other guy that I liked, so I was like, whatever, I'll just give this dude a chance. I ended up going and getting coffee with him where he told me his whole life story, which is quite intense. I was really surprised that he had been through all the stuff he'd been through, and I think I knew some of it, but I didn't know all of it. And he's like had lost like a lot of family members and stuff. We just met up for coffee and then we were gonna go out again, and we didn't end up going out because, well, first of all, we didn't talk from like the day that he asked me to go out again until like that night that we were supposed to go. And I texted him and I was like, hey, like, are you still thinking of like hanging out later? And he's like, can we take a rain check? And I was like, okay. And I ended up seeing that he had been liking this girl's pictures on Facebook. And the reason why it bothered me was because that girl was like no good. In fact, I had an ex that I had dated previously. We're getting some tea right now, okay? It's actually a coffee I had delivered to me, but we're gonna pretend it's tea. And this boy that I was like dating before kept liking this girl's photos, and I knew that she was just like no good, and I used to catch my ex like on her page like looking at her stuff, like not when I was like with him, but then he'd like pull something up on Facebook to show me and her freaking profile would be up. because he's an idiot and forgot to shut his app off before I came over to his house, which is so ignorant. Sometimes boys don't think. So yeah, I was like a little bit insecure about that. And I was like, actually, I'm really glad we didn't end up going out, because I just feel like he's not after the same thing as me. Like, I feel like he kind of just wanted sex, and I was like looking for a relationship. And I think he knew that I wasn't going to like just give it up. And I've noticed a pattern that once guys figure that out, they like don't want to like hang out with me anymore. So sorry. A lot of my friends were really happy that that didn't work out, but somehow we kind of like reconnected like a few months later. I'm using the shade Bang Bang on my lid right now from the Cherry palette. And so I invited him to my birthday party after we reconnected, and I don't even know if I told my friends he was coming until like he was like on his way. And they were like, why'd you invite him? I'm like, well, because he's my friend. They're like, okay, you know, whatever. So he comes over. He comes over and he literally dominated the whole room for like the whole time he was there. And it was so weird. He like made us play this game. It was like charades basically. And he was like screaming and yelling the whole time. And then, so then we were talking about this video that my friends all watch and, or had watched at the time. And it's a really strange video. It's called Too Many Cooks. Let me know down below if you've seen it. It's very weird. And so my friend Elisa was telling someone else at the party about it. And then my friend Devin joined in on the conversation. And then the dude that I kind of liked was like, hey, Devin, don't leave a guy out. What are you guys talking about? So Devin was like, oh, we're talking about like this video called Too Many Cooks. And I like looked at my friend Elisa, and she had this look on her face like, what the bleep is going on? And so I had to have had that look too, because I feel like if I was looking at her, then I had to have had that look. Next, I'm going to use the shade Feels in my outer corner. So they start talking about this video, and my friend's like, here, my friend Elisa, she's like, here, I'll pull it up and show you. She pulls it up, and he watches like 30 seconds, literally, maybe not, I don't even know if it was 30 seconds of the video. He like set her phone down, and she was like, aren't you gonna finish watching the video? And her phone was like, she was like across the room, like she's probably like where my back corner of my wall is, and he's like sitting where I am, and he's like, he like sets her phone down on the table in front of him, and she's like all the way back there, and she's like, are you gonna watch that? And he's like, no, I don't want that, like referring to her phone. It was so rude, but like looking back on it now, it's hilarious. She's like, well, can I have my phone back? And I don't even know, like, I think he just like completely ignored her and like wouldn't give her her phone back. And it just was sitting there playing Too Many Cooks, and and no one was watching it. It was so awkward. So I don't know who ended up giving her phone back. I don't know if like I gave it to her or if someone else handed it to her, because I was sitting by the guy that was like being rude or whatever. And I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe I invited him. Like, I was embarrassed, like, for not just myself, but for him too. It was like first and secondhand embarrassment. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so bad. The party goes on, he ends up leaving, and I don't think that anyone really said anything until later on about it, like a couple weeks later, and we were all just like cracking up at how awkward it was. Like, especially the Too Many Cooks video part. It was just so awkward. It was like, I cannot believe that I liked him. Okay, so now I'm using the shade Bing in my outer corner. There is a boy that I met on Bumble, and he was like, he seemed really nice. He was a Christian, so we had like the same beliefs and everything, so that was nice. He like agreed to like go get ice cream or something, but he lived kind of far, so he picks this random ice cream shop, which I guess isn't really random, but it's like far away from both of us, so kind of really didn't make any sense. But I was like, okay, whatever, like I'll go. We picked a day. I want to say we made it for like a Saturday, and the day we made plans was like maybe a Wednesday. I just go about my week and never heard from him again, like after we made plans. And normally, because at that point I had more dating experience, and normally when that happens, that typically means that the gentleman is not interested. So I was like, okay, whatever, like we're just not going. Like I didn't even consider it ghosting. I just was like, whatever, like didn't really care that much, because I was like, why would I care about someone who doesn't talk to me? Okay, so I'm just blending again while I continue this story. So I went to the pool because it was in the summer. So I went to the pool and with my best friend, and like I remember being like, oh, today's the day, and I still haven't heard from him. Like I at least thought that he would confirm with me if we were like going, because like to me that's what you do. Like when you're the guy, you should confirm with your girl. Like the girl should never have to confirm with the guy, I don't think. I mean, I shouldn't say never, but like there was no reason for him to not confirm the date with me. So now I'm gonna use the shade Turn On. It's this shade right here, and Bing is this shade here. So I used this one like on the outer corner, and don't worry, we're gonna be blending some more because this palette doesn't blend very well, which I wish it did, but it doesn't. So I get home from the pool, get this text that says, are you on your way? And it was from this dude, let's just call him Bryce, I forget his name. And I'm like, are you on your way? I asked. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I knew it. I knew this was gonna happen. And I was like, are you at the ice cream shop? He's like, yeah, I just drove 40 minutes. And I was like, he's like, that's fine if you don't want to go, but you should at least tell somebody before they drive 40 minutes to see you. And I was like, I said, excuse me, but I haven't even heard from you since the day we made plans. I was like, I just thought you weren't interested. And he's like, well, I don't even know you, so why would you think that I'm not interested? I'm like, because you didn't freaking text me. You didn't try to call me. You didn't talk to me. Like, I never heard from you since we made those plans. You didn't even confirm it with me. I was like, if you are interested, like you say you are, then let's just reschedule, because I am also 40 minutes away, and I did not know that you still wanted to go. I'm sorry. Like, I had no idea. So I kind of unintentionally stood this guy up. But then, like, I kind of didn't feel bad, because I'm like, if he just would have, like, confirmed with me, I totally would have went. Instead, he, like, tried to turn it around on me, like, if you're not interested, you should have said something. Well, if you were interested, you should have said something instead of nothing. So it ended up that we just, like, it didn't go anywhere, obviously. Like, we never really talked after that. Like, I think we tried to reschedule something once, but then... Then I got the flu, of course. So I was like, okay, whatever. And he's like, yeah, that's no problem. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And he was like super overly nice. I was like, yeah, right. This dude's pissed. I could tell by how nice he's talking to me. He was like almost being sarcastic. I'm like, whatever, you're a jerk. So yeah, that was awkward. And then recently, I'm such an, I'll tell you. Recently, I made plans with this guy, and when we made plans, I didn't realize that he actually set a time. It was kind of like the same situation, only I guess I learned that, like, hey, just because a guy doesn't talk to you before you're supposed to go on a date doesn't mean he's not interested. We agreed to meet up at this coffee shop, and it was like 6 days. So like we made plans, like, let's say on a Monday, and then we made plans for that Sunday, that coming Sunday. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, you know, this guy seems nice. I had known him for a little bit, and I was like, you know, I should give this guy a chance or whatever, like just see if anything's there. But for either of us, I end up forgetting, because again, it was like the same situation where we didn't talk, and I just thought like we weren't going, because I didn't realize that we picked a time or anything. He texted me at the time that we were supposed to meet, and he was like, hey, grabbing a coffee now. And I was like, I can't stand another guy up. Like, I couldn't do it. So I was like, oh, so sorry. Like, I think we set the time for, like, let's just say it was noon. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I thought we said 12:30. And because I was only like 20 minutes away or whatever, I was like, I'll leave now. So I left, and I ended up getting there at the time I said I thought it was, even though it wasn't that time. because I just like didn't even realize there was a time at all. And so I got there and we ended up talking. It was fine and everything, and like it didn't go anywhere, but he was nice. I went on another date with a guy that I think we talked on the phone like once before we ended up going out, and he seemed really cool. He was funny. He had a great job. I actually knew someone that he used to work with. That kind of made me feel better, that like I knew someone that he knew, but I didn't reveal that to him. And I also didn't ask the guy I knew anything about him, because I like to make my own decisions when it comes to dating. Now I'm using my It Cosmetics Superhero No Tug Gel Liner. This is the shade Fantastic Espresso. I absolutely love this eyeliner. It's my first makeup product I've tried by It Cosmetics, and I think it's really pretty. So we ended up deciding to meet halfway, because he didn't live super far. He lived probably like, I want to say 35 minutes, maybe 40. So it was like a weeknight, and he got off like kind of late, and I was like, it's fine. Like, we meet up, and he gets out of his truck in sweats and moccasins. Not just sweats, but also moccasins. I'm like, are you kidding me? I realized it was just like a casual first date or whatever, but still. I was like, okay, I understand that you were probably in business clothes all day, but you really couldn't just be bothered to put on a pair of jeans for an hour. Like, so that was off-putting, to be completely honest. And I tried not to let it bother me, because I didn't want it to be a deal breaker, but to me it just like screamed, I don't care. I'm adding more of the shade Feels into my crease, just to try to make it more like this girl's, before I move on to face and the rest of my makeup. The date itself was good. Like, he was nice. I went back home, and then the next morning, like while I was getting ready to walk into work, he called me. He's like, hey, how was your night? How'd you sleep? We just wanted to say good morning. Hope you have a great day. I was like, oh, that's so nice. Like, thank you. A few hours went by, and he's like, what are you up to? Text me this. I'm like, just working, about to go to lunch. He's like, oh, okay, call me when you get to lunch. I'm like, okay. So I called him. He said hi. And then he's like, well, if you want, call me after work. I was like, okay. So I called him after work. And then he just like, that was how it went for like the next few days. And like, I thought it was really nice at first. And then we agreed to like meet up again. And I swear to you, he called me probably 5 times in one day, like 3 days, like, or the day before we were supposed to hang out. And he was like, every time he would just talk to me for like 30 seconds. And all he would say was, just wanted to see how you were. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, same as I was 2 hours ago. I didn't say it like that, but that's what I wanted to say. And he's like, can't wait to see you tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. I know, I'm really excited. He's like, yeah, I'm so excited. Can't wait to have you here, because I was supposed to go to wherever he was from. Like, okay, yay. And then he just kept calling and repeating that same like few sentences. I ended up texting my friend that knows him and was like, hey, do you know this guy? Like, I said his name. He's like, yeah, I know him. Why? I'm like, oh, like, what's he like? He's like, he's a nice guy, but he's kind of shady. I was like, that's all I needed to know. But it was weird to me that he called me like that many times when, I don't know, we'd only met once. And like, I liked the attention and I liked that he wanted to talk, but then I'm like, why do you want to talk? Like, is it because you like me, or is it because you're trying to control me? Or like I truly didn't understand like why he was calling me like that. It was very bizarre. I remember telling my aunt about it, and she's like, well, if you feel like it's off, then you shouldn't go. And I was like, okay, like, enough said, because my aunt, she's pretty fair. And I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna go or whatever. And then I always feel bad when I do that, but he like didn't even like ask to reschedule or anything. In fact, when I told him I couldn't go, he didn't even respond. And to me, that's just like a really big red flag if a guy doesn't respond when, because I think I said that like, hey, I'm not comfortable with coming there. Is there any way you can come to Canton? And he just like didn't even answer me. And I just always find that like a red flag if a guy gets upset that you don't want to come to where he lives, like if you're not ready for it, especially if it's only the second or third time, even fourth time meeting them. Like, I don't think that guys should expect you to come to them that soon if you're not comfortable with it. If you are, that's totally different. And obviously it's a case-by-case basis, and like sometimes I like have literally gone to a guy's house to meet him for the first time and been totally comfortable with it, but then there's other times where I'm like, you know, we've only been on one date and I'm like, I'm just not ready yet. And like most of the time they end up like they'll say, oh, you know, no problem, we can do whatever else, and then eventually they just quit talking to me, or they'd like tell me, hey, I'm not interested, or they just like whatever. I don't know, it's very strange to me, and it happens a lot. So I don't know, to me that's like a good gauge if a guy is legit or not, even if you are comfortable with it, to just be like, hey, like I'm not comfortable coming, like, because at some point in your relationship there's going to be something you're not comfortable with, or that you don't like, or you don't want to do. And if they try to force you to do it or make you feel bad or like stop talking to you over it, that's not good. For mascara, I am going to use my Voluminous Primer Base first, and then this is by L'Oreal. This is like one of my holy grail makeup products. If you've watched any makeup video in the last year or year and a half, then I use this in every one. And then I'm using for mascara my Colossal Mascara by Maybelline. I have an idea. How about we go on Bumble and I read some profiles to you guys while I do this, because I find like Bumble bios really hilarious. And I think some guys like have the funniest bios, and a lot of times they aren't trying to be funny. So first we have Sean. He's 28. Oh, he does not have a bio. Okay, next is John. He's 31. Gym, travel, and other adventures. Thank you so much, John, for giving me the rundown of how you are. Okay, next we have Ian. He's 33, also no bio. Zach. I love sports and I really enjoy cooking and trying new recipes. I love to travel and go to concerts when there isn't a pandemic. Okay, so that sounds legit. He's 6'3". Oh, he's cute. Okay. Okay, Zach. He's only 25. That's pretty young. I'm gonna give it a swipe right though. I'm going to start contouring my face while I do this. I'm going to use the Instant Age Rewind Eraser Multi-Use Concealer by Maybelline. I like to read the really long names of makeup products. This one is in the shade 145 Warm Olive, okay? Just so y'all know. Okay, so I usually contour like my cheeks, my nose, my jawline, and my forehead. Next we have Matt. He is 25. He says, if you haven't seen Dark on Netflix, we'll be prepared to have your life changed to a great show. We'll be prepared. I think he meant well be prepared. All right, next is Josh. He's 6'1". He says he's active in the gym. He has an undergrad degree. He doesn't smoke. He says he's a Christian and that he has dogs, and politically he's a moderate, and his love language is quality time. See, like that I can get down with. Like if you just straight up have nothing but a couple photos, I'm like, Oh, and then he filled out his prompts. Okay, so that's good. So his prompts are, what makes a relationship great is ... And then his answer is compromise, honesty, and trust. Pretty typical answer, but a good one nonetheless. He's pretty cute. So his zombie apocalypse plan is to be the last one standing. This includes family and friends, of course. That's terrible. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's funny. So the world would be a better place with more ... country music. That's not all I listen to, but you really can't go wrong with it. I hope he doesn't like Kenny Chesney. I do not like Kenny Chesney. Next is Corey. He's 27. Well, there's way too much about me to put here, but I'll keep it short. Okay. Let's see what his short bio says. My business and dogs and cat mean everything to me. I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Fitness is a huge part of my life. It's good. I'm looking for someone that can keep up with me and that has a great sense of humor. Well, he's in good company because I'm downright hilarious. I don't like cats, but it's not a deal breaker. All right, so for concealer, I'm using my Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Swan. He sounds cool. I didn't really look at his face. After work, you can find me. After work, you can find me, ... And his answer is playing with my dogs and cat or the gym. So he really likes his animals. Before I move on, I'm going to use my new Press Powder Foundation. This is by CoverGirl. I got the shade 160 medium. I usually go for like medium shades or beige. And like for my contour, I did olive. So I usually try to stick with, I don't really go for like, that reminds me, I forgot to contour my jawline, but I usually try to like stay away from peachy shades because my skin doesn't really have any peach in it. It's more of like beige and olive undertones. I think it's really important to know your skin shade. So this guy's name is Angelo. Love that name. He's 28 years old. No bio. And then it says, we'll get along if ... And then his answer is more ... Can you guys see the ridiculousness of this? You really can't put an answer down? What a jerk. All right, so this guy's name is Frankie. He's 27. He's from Solon, Ohio. I feel like that's kind of far from me. Whatever. Distance makes the heart grow fonder, right? No bio. Oh, he's cute. But he's 5'9", so that's within my height range that I prefer. I forgot to blend with my blending brush. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. See, I'm sitting here worrying about guys on Bumble when I should be focusing on my makeup. Hoping you ... don't play games is his answer. Me too, dude. So the perfect first date is, in his mind, says, anything that doesn't result in me sneaking out of the bathroom window. I feel like there's probably a story there for that answer. And then he says, we'll get along if ... you send me memes, don't take life too seriously, and have a sense of humor. So this guy's name is Jared, 35. I'm just blending right now. I'm gonna be blending for a couple minutes because I forgot to do it before I put my foundation on. He's 35. He's an electrical technician. He is a single father of a teenage daughter. Very family oriented. He's a sports junkie. So this guy's name is Andrew. He's 25. Born in the wrong generation. Retired NCAA Division II college wrestler. Okay. So that probably means he works hard. He has 3 college degrees. He's 6'1", blue eyes, homeowner. Where's wifey? Be honest, don't waste my time. Also, I've been viral on TikTok, viral video with over 4 million views, laughing face. I gotta swipe left on that one. I'm being really picky right now. I'm in a picky mood, which I feel like I should be more often. I can't believe I forgot to blend everything before I put on my face foundation. All right, so this guy, his name's, see, these are the kind of bios I'm talking about. I'm gonna read this one to you. Michael, 30. He says, probably not your best option, but I'll share my Netflix account. So next we have Jimmy. My most useless skill is cooking minute rice in 59 seconds. That's funny. But anyway, yeah, he's cute, so I'll go ahead and swipe right. We matched. Hey Jimmy, exclamation point, how's it going, question mark. So for blush, I'm using my classic Kylie Cosmetics Rosy. I use this a lot. Like, I can't believe I haven't hit pan yet. She must give you a lot of product because I've had this blush for quite some time now. For lipstick, I'm going to use my NYX lip liner. It needs sharpened though. And I decided to overline my lips a little bit today since I want to take the attention off my contour job because it's not that great. Next, I'm going to use Kylie Cosmetics liquid lipstick, the matte. This is the shade Libra. And this shade is really, really, really light. It's like a pale nude. And it's really pretty. It kind of reminds me of like something Kim would wear. And then because it looks like my lips are like not there really, I like to use my Maybelline Crimson Race lipstick. And I just kind of touch my lips with it like this. And then okay. One of these days and one of my get ready with me's, I'll do my hair, but it's not gonna be today. All right, so I've got my earrings in, and while I was putting them in, I realized I didn't do any under eye makeup. So I'm pulling my palette back out, and I'm going to take actually the brush that it came with and the smaller side, and I'm going to use the shade Turn On, and I'm going to put that in my inner corner and underneath of my eye. And then I'm going to take the shade Drunk Dial. We've all had some drunk dials in our lives, right? Or is it just me? Hopefully it's not just me. And then I'm gonna go underneath. Give it some drama for your mama. I feel like that's something Stephanie Letta would say. Comment below if you know who that is. I'll subscribe to your channel if you do. And now I need a little bit of mascara. I really shouldn't use this one because I know it's going to transfer, but whatever. And we're done. Okay, I'm just going to set it with some setting spray. This is the Maybelline Lasting Fix setting spray. I love it. It feels so good and I'm so hot. Okay guys, well that concludes the Valentine's Day makeup get ready with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it and enjoyed my storytelling while we did my makeup. Please subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I post lots of fashion videos and photos over there. Not videos, I'm working on getting reels up. But for now, I do post a lot of fashion content. So give me a follow at Elizabeth Davis XO. Subscribe, share this video, let your friends know. Send them the video if they like makeup and dating. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Adios.